I mean, I guess we take those. We take those, but I'm not gonna lie, Maresca. A little bit of a conversation needs to be had. But Newcastle 2, Chelsea 2 at St. James's Park. Early kickoff. I'm trying to have some energy here for you guys, but not gonna lie, this was a 7:30 kickoff here in the States. So I was a bit tired during that first half. But so was Chelsea. I'm not gonna lie, so was Chelsea. I don't know what team that was that showed up in the first half, but we were getting ran through. Ran through. I'm telling you, what Newcastle came out with a different type of energy, and you can see it. If you even look at this momentum map here on FootMob, you can see it. Newcastle came out in that first half cooking, and I'm telling you, the worst time to have played Newcastle on the schedule is after the derby with Sunderland, and it's even worse because Sunderland beat them, including a Voltamata own goal. So Newcastle came out here with a mission. They came out like a house on fire, and the energy, we just could not compete in that first half. I don't. It was embarrassing, honestly. They were just running all over us. Voltamata obviously came out looking to redeem himself from that own goal, which that own goal was a banger. I'm not gonna lie, but either way, that guy is class. He is so good. Like Newcastle don't even deserve that guy. I'm not even gonna lie, because usually they don't even provide him service. For some reason today against us, they wanted to show up and start whipping the ball in. Anthony Gordon all of a sudden knows how to cross, is whipping the ball into Voltamata. But damn, that guy's good. He's clinical. He's so clinical. That first goal of theirs, first of all, I gotta tip my hat off to Robert Sanchez. That save he makes before the first goal is amazing. And Robert Sanchez, as Chelsea fans, we have our opinions about him. There's ups and downs, but this season, before the season, I would have said goalkeeper is arguably the number one position we need to upgrade in. At the midway point in the season, I'm not so sure it's number one anymore, and that's I got to give my credit to Robert Sanchez. He's not the greatest goalkeeper in the world. I still think we can upgrade in that position, but he's had a good enough season to where he's kind of redeemed. It's hard to say redeemed, but he's kind of pulled back a little bit of that reputation. And I got to give my respect because Maresca has really backed him, and that seems to be his guy. But either way, that first save for that first goal, but then obviously it goes back across the net, and then Voltamata puts it in the top of the roof of the net, pretty much. That save was incredible. Now, Chalaba probably should have done better there to get that ball out of there, but looked like he slipped a little bit, and Voltamata doing what Voltamata does. This guy, he doesn't have that many chances across the season. But if you look at his conversion rate compared to like the amount of chances he actually gets, he's clinical. He's absolutely clinical. But that's the first goal. Then, Gordon had a chance too, where he had a nice volley attempt. Sanchez was all over that. I think at the time someone was down. I forget exactly who was down, but maybe it was Gusto, I think. And Sanchez makes the save on the volley and then goes sprinting out of the box to yell at the ref and get to yellow. I mean, that's kind of the side of Sanchez where you're like, hey, bro, chill. I know you got to stick up for your teammates. I respect that, but, chill out a little bit. But that whole sequence, now that brings me to it, that's like Chelsea just falling asleep. Obviously, we had a player down. And the ref, I guess even Newcastle, no one knew what was going on. Both teams look like, do we continue here? And then the ref just not blowing it. You got to play to the whistle. Chelsea just standing there. And all of a sudden, they almost went and got a second goal on us. But they ended up getting a second goal anyway off of set piece. Played it short. Gordon whips it in, a good ball. And Voltamata, clean volley. Just little, it's not like he didn't strike through it. Just like a little, let it hit his foot, tap, bang, pass. Sanchez can't do anything about it. This guy's clinical once again. And they're 2-0 up. And at that point, I'm looking at Chelsea and I'm like, what is this team? I mean, I already said in previous videos, me, we were never a title contending team. But top four, we should be fighting for that. And now we are fighting for it. But after that first half performance, I was looking at it as like, bro, we're going to be fighting for Europa League Conference League. Like that wasn't good enough. And I don't know what Maresca said at halftime. I'm guessing it was something like these guys are punching you in the mouth like Anthony Joshua punched Jake Paul. But you need to come back and punch them back. Counter punch. Show them something because that aggression they came out with, we matched that in the second half. And if anything, we were even more aggressive in the second half. The second half looked like Chelsea against Arsenal. And I don't know why it took us 45 minutes to get to that point. I think that's the conversation I need to have with Maresca today. We need to figure out how to get Chelsea playing at their maximum potential for both halves. This one half at a time thing is not good enough. It's just not good enough. We're not going to be able to win games if we're sleeping in the first half, and then second half we start to come alive, or if we play well in the first half, but then we just start throwing it away in the second. We need to show 90 minutes, just consistent play, and if the team beats us, they were better. But let's stop beating ourselves. I'm tired of seeing that, bro. We need to have consistent energy the entire game. We come out in that second half, and before we get this free kick, I'm thinking in my head, we need to make some changes. The wingers for us were diabolical. But before we even get to the second half goals, you see the lineup here. Garnacho starting, Neto starting. I mean, Garnacho ends up with over a 7 rating. I mean, if you actually look at how he plays some of those missed chances, I'm not having it, bro. Neto spamming dead crosses the whole game. But then if you look at our bench, it makes sense that we couldn't take him off. I was like, there's no way Garnacho's going to see 90 minutes here. But hey, he ends up seeing 90. There's no Gittins, no Esteval because Esteval is injured, which kind of explains his bro's been AWOL for weeks. I don't know what has been going on, but I guess he's been injured. But Gittins not even making the bench. I'm not sure exactly what's going on there. So clearly, no Tyreek George either. The wing options were decimated, so both these wingers ended up having to play a 90. Before we got that first goal, though, I was thinking in my head, okay, we need to make some changes. Let's get Palmer out to the right, put Neto on the left, get Garnacho center back into the bench, and then we can have Palmer and Gusto getting their overlapping combo that they like to do, which is like, that's over the last few years, that's been some of the peak Chelsea we've seen with Palmer on the right and Gusto overlapping him. But before that was even able to happen, Reece James. We're gonna have to start. I mean, I think enough people started putting respect on his name from the Arsenal game, but this guy, he's just quality, bro. He's just quality. That free kick is a beauty. People want to talk about the Szoboszlai free kick from the Liverpool Arsenal game earlier in the season, and to be fair, that one is insane. But this one, it's not far off. It's not far off. Reece James is actually a right back. Szoboszlai is a midfielder who's been playing a right back at times. Reece James is a right back who's been playing in the midfield. That guy is ridiculous. And as much as I love that he's fit and playing for us week in, week out, it's scary to see this guy might start for England in the World Cup because they needed a guy like that, brother. He's just actually on another level this season. So shout out Reece James. That free kick was a beauty. And all of a sudden, we're back in the game. But even before that, we're seeing the momentum in the second half. We're starting to get back into it. And that's what leads to the free kick. And all of a sudden, now it's 2-1. The energy's there. Chelsea, you're pushing. Chelsea, you're pressing. Newcastle are uncomfortable on the ball. And all of a sudden, we're pushing. And then Enzo Fernandez comes on. Gusto off. Reece James drops back. And we have even more quality on the ball. Garnacho still getting pocketed by Lewis Miley, who's a teenage midfielder who's out there playing it right back. It has no pace, but Garnacho can't dust him. This is an aside, but the more I watch Garnacho, I realize this guy, his top end speed is not bad, obviously, but the explosiveness is just not where I thought it would be. And maybe because I didn't watch him enough at United, but I feel like when you see highlights, it looks like bro is a little more explosive. But dude cannot beat Lewis Miley off the mark, which is, a little scary. But the second goal, and this is why I had to praise Robert Sanchez earlier in the video. The second goal, Sanchez, a direct ball up to João Pedro. And João Pedro does well. He can go ghost sometimes in games, and he's not necessarily the out and out striker that we were looking for, but he takes it off his head, and that one touch off his head takes it past Malik Chow, who also stumbles or slips a little bit. So you got a little fortunate there, but that's some beautiful control. And takes it back Chow, and all of a sudden he has a one-on-one, slot to pass Ramsdale, 2-2. We're level. The comeback completed. Now we need to go get the winner. And at that point, I thought I was going to come on here, gas, yelling like, let's go. But to be fair to Newcastle, they make some changes. They bring on Barnes, Vissa, and Alanga. And Vissa, by the way, fair enough. I thought bro was going to be injured for the first half of the season and just dip to AFCON like nothing happened and then finesse Newcastle out of that money. To be fair to him, I guess maybe to be fair to his country, they were like, nah, bro, you've been injured too much. We need someone in form to come to AFCON. So, he ends up staying in Newcastle. He doesn't go to AFCON, so he comes on this game. Harvey Barnes, he actually was trying to make some impact when he came on. And by impact, I mean diving, bro. Dude dumpster diving consistently. And the thing is, he's a good player. He's a decent player. I don't know why bro's trying to go to ground so often, but he's a decent player. He probably had the most impact out of the three. Alanga is just running a marathon, bro. He's not really doing anything of quality. Even Alanga had a good chance on the counter. Dude's rapid. Kukurea somehow Loki was keeping up with him. He cuts in. I think he had Barnes wide open if he squares it, and dude just whiffs the shot. Yeah, that was, if we're talking about robbing Newcastle, Vissa and Alanga might be a nice little duo right there in terms of a highway robbery. But Alanga, especially, at least Vissa's been injured. Alanga, I'm not gonna lie, that move is not working out. But at that point, the game just kind of gets seen out. Newcastle, from where this first half was, I'd be disappointed if I were Newcastle. 2-0 up at St. James's Park, and you got punched in the mouth in the second half with a counter, and, you're looking like Jake Paul at the end of the fight. It's not looking good for you. But for us, a comeback, it shows mentality, shows some character, and I'm happy with that at least. But if you look at the table and where we are right now, you would hope we need to pick up some wins. We're in fourth. Villa, and of course, we play first again on the weekend. I mean, to stop with these early Saturday games, bro. But at least now I can just look at the rest of the weekend and just hate watch some of these teams and hope they drop points. Villa, United is annoying because they're around us. If Villa win, they go what? 7 points clear. It's getting spooky then. It's honestly getting spooky. If United win, now all of a sudden they're level on points with us. That's pretty much every week though. Every week it's like if United win, they're level on points with us. So we'll see what actually happens. Palace are right there. I mean, all these teams right there on 26 points. It's spooky. It's spooky. This top four race is not guaranteed at all. So it's not looking good for us in terms of, we take that result away at St. James's Park. A draw is not a bad result. But if you look at the context of this month, we've dropped way too many points. Look at November. November was an amazing month for us. Undefeated in November. Okay, look at us. In December, lost to Leeds, draw to Bournemouth, lost to Atalanta. I know it's not in the league, but that was a diabolical game. We beat Everton, beat Cardiff. I mean Cardiff, that's a given. If we didn't win that game, then we have serious issues. Everton, that was actually a good solid win. Newcastle, now we drop points again. And we're going against Villa next week. Going against Bournemouth again, who we just drew against. And then that ends the month. But then City after that. I mean, it's spooky. It's a spooky run of games coming up after already a poor December. If we can't see out, basically, this Villa game is a must win. Let's just put it how it is. The Villa game is a must win. They are above us in the table. If they beat United, especially 7 points clear of us, that's a must win. The Bournemouth game, I mean, it's pretty much every game's a must win at this point. But the Bournemouth game, after drawing against them, we need to go get that win. Especially at home, we need to go get that win. And then City, ahead of us in the table, we'll see where they are at that point. That's a few games away, but That's a massive game. If we want to claw back into the top 4 race, that's a massive game. So overall, am I gassed? I was gassed when it hit 2-2, and I thought maybe we could go all the way and make this comeback. Because to me, if we got a late winner there, that really shows, okay, we're serious about this top 4 thing. 2-2 away at St. James's Park, we take those. We take those. Is it what I was hoping for? Maybe not. Am I as gassed as I could have been? Maybe not. But we take a 2-2 at St. James's Park, probably the hardest ground to go to. Or the low-key, hey, Stadium of Light looking like they came to take that throne. But we take that. We take that. Maresca, good switch up at the second half, whatever the team talk was. But hey, we need that for a full game next time. But appreciate you guys for watching, especially if you made it this far. Like, subscribe, all that good algorithm stuff. Apologies, I've been a little AFK the last week. The flu's going around here in New York, but I cannot miss this game. And now I'm back. I'll be back for the Villa game. I'll be back with some fun videos. I seem like you guys enjoyed the last hot takes video I did last week, so I'll do another one like that. And we're keeping it going. So once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.